Hello, folks. Craig T. Stewart here, and welcome to another What the Book webisode. The book today is The Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson, and if you haven't read it and like what you hear in this episode, this is your chance to pick it up before the full-length podcast is released later this week. Wanted to say a little bit about what this book is about. The Emperor's Soul by Brandon Sanderson takes place in the same universe as Elantris and centers on Shay, a forger whose use of magic rewrites histories. Imprisoned for a theft in the palace, she is tasked with recreating a soul for the Emperor, whose mind was injured after an assassination within 100 days to earn her freedom. To do this, Shay must craft a soul stamp, a essence mark, with all her forgery knowledge and every piece of history she can find on the Emperor. This is no easy task. Now, Shay navigates the political intrigue of the palace, dealing with skepticism and hostility like that of the Emperor's arbiters, that of Gautna and Frava. And she must face her own moral dilemmas and implications of her art as she works to achieve the impossible. When she does succeed in her task, she relies on what she's learned about others from the palace intrigue to escape. Now, for a few things that I liked and didn't like, and they kind of weave in together. Brandon Sanderson is a fantastic writer, and he brought this world to life in very short order. While it is a small sliver of the world, the universe itself, namely the magic and philosophy of forgery, it's still a great story nonetheless. Sure, some things are still ambiguous, but they don't really deter from the plot of the story. The vibrancy of the world brings a fresh magic system, which I personally thoroughly enjoyed, and a unique approach to how it's wielded. This wasn't a book I wanted to put down as a result. Now, this is also only a taste of the world, and after rereading this for the podcast, I wanted more from the universe, and I learned that there is more. Elantris, it's a full-length novel. That said, with this book, you're left feeling like you only have a piece of the whole story. The ending was kind of predictable, and the resolution's fine, but not great, in my opinion. And as mentioned, some of the world building is a little bit lacking, but it's not a huge issue for the core story of the intricacies of magic and of forgery in this world. Now, some of the things I'll be discussing in the full-length podcast with Jeff are authenticity, the ethics and morality, and perception and trust as it relates to the characters of the story. All that said, I hope you enjoyed this webisode. Let me know what you thought of it and if you've read or intend to read this book. If you're interested but not sold, there's a full-length podcast where I'm discussing this book at length for your binging pleasure on Substack and Spotify. You can find all things What the Book by going to craigtstewart.com. With all that said, have a good one, folks.